Hello, everyone. Um, Again, as I mentioned in my little intro, I'm going to offer you some tips on creating an environment in your home that supports your child's learning and independent play without them relying on so much of your attention and support. And isn't that the goal here as we're all trying to navigate this tricky work from home situation? Now, that's not to say that children never need our support. Your child will need your support during the day. So it's important that you take your time, especially in the morning, to fill your child's emotional cup. And this means really making an effort to connect with them for at least 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes if you got it in you. And that means your undivided attention. Snuggle, read together, go for a walk, chat over breakfast, whatever works for you. You will be amazed at how much this chunk of time will set them up for a day of success. Now, we as adults tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep babies and young children entertained all the time, when the truth is that they're fully capable of being independent and directing their own learning and play. They really don't need us as much as we think they do. So the ideas that I'm going to present to you today are aligned with what we do in our classrooms at Alphabet and at the Nest, and will hopefully help you make an easier transition into this work from home lifestyle for you and your child. Because remember, your child is also adjusting to working from home. So the environment that I'm going to encourage you to set up in your house is what Magda Gerber refers to as a yes space. And Magda defines this as one where if your baby was left on her own all day, she would be hungry, upset, and need a new diaper when you returned, but would be physically unharmed. Now, I'm not advocating for you to leave your child alone all day, but hopefully that kind of paints a picture of what this space looks like and feels like for your child. When we set up a space in our home that's child-proofed 100%, we're being respectful of our child and of ourselves. It actually helps us both relax. The child is able to explore with no danger to himself, and we can feel comfortable about leaving him there. And the photos that you see in this presentation actually came from Janet Lansbury's blog, where parents posted pictures of what their yes space looks like in their homes. And I hope that you find them a little bit inspiring and doable to do in your own home. So, what yes spaces do for children is it helps them develop independence and independent play skills. They experience pure, uninterrupted play that helps develop their concentration. They're able to choose and make their own decisions. They experience freedom of movement without risk of being told no, which, let's face it, we say no a lot during the day. No, don't do this. Stop doing that. Go over here. That's not available. We do it all the time. And when we remove this, the child actually experiences greater calm and fulfillment in having their own developmental needs met, and they experience less frustration in their environment. Now, some parents choose to use the child's room, a playroom, or a gated area in the living space. But the first step is, of course, removing all hazards such as dangerous plants, covering electrical outlets, securing electrical cords or cords on blinds, and securing furniture to the wall. And once all hazards are removed, you can start to think about what play materials you'll have available to them. You definitely want to make sure the toys are in good repair and don't have small removable parts, especially if your child is under 3. You might only want to have board books available so that they won't be tempted to tear or eat the paper books. And gates are your friend. They're not baby prison like we sometimes feel like they are. They're your friend. They give a really, really clear boundary of where your child can and cannot go. So use them to your advantage and don't feel guilty about it. Parents or children thrive when boundaries are clear and when boundaries are visual. Even if you have an infant and you don't have a good play area in your room, maybe you want to use a playpen. That's again a really, really clear boundary of where they cannot go. So keeping materials open-ended will encourage your child's creativity because there's no right way to use the toy. So if we only have toys that light up and make noise, your child is going to get bored very, very quickly because they lose their appeal. They do the same thing every time. So keep them open-ended. There are so many interesting materials lying around your house that will be interesting for your child to explore. So for babies and toddlers, consider napkin rings, pieces of fabric, recycled materials, cardboard or shoe boxes, paper towel tubes, even wooden picture frames or pine cones. They're all very, very interesting. Pots and pans, the list goes on. For older children, you can be a little bit more creative. You can actually clean out your junk drawer, provide them with some smaller objects like loose change, nuts and bolts, old jewelry, wood scraps, pebbles, twigs. There are a lot of options. And this will really encourage your child, again, to focus, be creative, and think of new ways that they can use their materials. Now, the other important piece of setting up a home environment is to keep a daily schedule consistent and predictable. And this is a little sample of one. You will be receiving an email from your child's teacher of what the daily schedule looks like in their classroom. So hopefully you'll be able to mimic it as much as possible. But the things that you really want to think about are having nice long chunks of free independent play in the yes space, and then having meals at designated times, usually 2.5 to 3 hours apart. It can be really tempting to on-demand snack, and we want to keep meals really structured because that's important to your child's health and their nutrition during this somewhat unstructured time. So adding in some time for outdoor play, art, or sensory exploration, that's going to help you break up the day. And hopefully you get a few long chunks of time where you can focus on your work while your child focuses on their work. Now, of course, this is going to have to be adjusted for a baby that's on a more individualized schedule. But by keeping this consistent and predictable, you provide your child with security and familiarity in these uncertain times. Now, it's likely that your child will have some feelings about being home rather than being at school. I have feelings about being home rather than being at school. So as we're responding to these feelings, we want to stay matter of fact and positive, acknowledge their feelings, and respond with one of these phrases. These are just a few examples. You seem confused about what's happening, and that's okay. It's a confusing time. I'm a little bit confused too. So acknowledge and empathize. Things are a little bit different right now. Acknowledging the difference, but also acknowledging that things are the same too. I'm still taking care of you. We still have your brother or your sister home. And really emphasizing sameness, not just what's different. It's disappointing that you can't go to school. It sounds like you miss your friends and your teachers. And then really underlying this overarching theme, I will keep you safe. You don't need to worry. It's the adult's job to worry. You can feel confused and you can feel disappointed, but I am here to keep you safe. I've got this. So that's really the underlying message that we want to convey to all of our children. We are here for you. Keep in touch with your teachers and your classmates through email, through Brightwheel, however you see fit. We will provide virtual learning opportunities, we will provide regular check-ins, and we'll be giving you some ideas for activities that you can easily do at home. And you can participate in as much or as little as this. But we are here for you and we want to support you. So thank you so much for taking the time. If you have any questions, you can comment in our Facebook page or you can email me at Cora@thenestct.com. Thank you and take care.